I've listened to the record by Boygenius for years.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Happy Gopher Day.
Boygenius.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spin It, the record ranking podcast for people who would rather be listening to music. I'm James, and with me is Connor.
Boygenius.
We did it. We caught them all.
Gotta sing it all.
Love it. We have done episodes on all three members of Boygenius, and today is the day that we finally...
Our podcast destiny.
We finally get to do the full Boygenius episode.
Boygenius.
It's been a long road.
Oh, we'll stand so tall.
We started
Three
this journey...
voices in harmony. Boygenius. Sorry.
Well, I can't even complain, because really, most of the time we've compared it to collecting Pokemon.
Yeah.
Even the last episode's Factor Spin about Lucy Dacus was Pokemon-themed.
I might have worked up a very loose parody song to the entire Pokemon theme song.
The one that you just sang?
Yeah, that was the chorus, yeah.
Oh, no, you did the whole thing?
It's passable.
Okay, passable's good. Yeah, we started this journey 79 episodes ago.
Wow, over a year in the making.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was back when we did Phoebe Bridgers and Punisher. And at that point, I didn't intend to do all of Boygenius. But then Boygenius was nominated for Album of the Year, right? At the Grammys. A Grammy or two ago. And I was like, oh, man, it would have been fun to do all the episodes about them before they won. And they did win quite a few Grammys. They did not win Album of the Year. And so I was like, wait, there's a chance. So then we managed to hit the Pickle Queen, Julien Baker, on episode 153. And kind of shortly thereafter, we hit Lucy Dacus on episode 168. And now here we are to close out this awesome quadrilogy.
Now, I remember in past episodes, we've debated which one would be which starter.
Yeah, and now we have enough information to accurately judge.
So what are you thinking?
I stand by...
I think Pickle Queen, the only one that Pickle Queen can't be is fire, I think.
No, definitely not. Julien can't be fire.
I mean, pickles are green, but they're soaked in brine.
But she doesn't like pickles.
Yeah, she's the Pickle Queen.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, I stand by my original assertion that Phoebe is the fire Pokemon.
I agree.
Julian's the water Pokemon.
I think Phoebe is fire.
I think Lucy's the plant Pokemon, the grass one.
I'm okay with that. Did you say the plant?
Yeah, well, it's because I was thinking about the album.
Come on.
I was thinking about the Plantasia album again. I was still stuck on that. Mort, I forget his last name. Mort, the guy that made the Plantasia album. I was thinking plant. Grass is a plant.
Fair enough.
It is also a special Spin It holiday of sorts.
It is. I mean, it's very fitting that we're doing Boygenius on the holiday of maybe the most Pokemonable animal in the real world.
See? That's what I thought too. The reason I wanted to do Boygenius today is because this is the closest episode to Groundhog Day. And we don't celebrate Groundhog Day because...
We don't celebrate Groundhog Day around here. That's blasphemous.
Yeah, we're way more partial to gophers. So for us, it's Gopher Day. And, you know, in the Bill Murray movie, Groundhog Day, he repeats the day over and over. And we're not repeating an artist, but this is like the culmination of 3 episodes in the making.
We're repeating 3 artists.
So
all at once.
Yeah, so Groundhog or Gopher Day felt really like an apropos time.
I like it.
Yeah. I would ask what your familiarity level with Boygenius is, but it's probably just what we've done in the past episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. Did doing the past episodes give you any expectations for what the record would be like?
Yeah, well, I figured that their sound would be kind of like a blend of all 3 of their sounds, right? That's typically what happens with like supergroups like this. Is that they either like it's a blending of all their sounds or they all just go wildly different from what they usually do to have fun with it. So I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, but I wouldn't have been surprised by either.
Yeah. Oh, blend is definitely a good word. They each kind of take the lead in tandem on different points in this album, and you can kind of pick out who's headlining what part, really like get a feel for it, which is cool. I listened to the record before I had listened to all of Boygenius individually. I knew Phoebe Bridgers for a long time. I mentioned in the episode that I was kind of a hipster about that I knew her before she was cool. And then when she joined Boygenius is when I kind of caught on to the other ones because I was already following her. So I didn't quite have the same experience. It was kind of retroactive for me. Once I knew Lucy and Julien better, then I could start to unravel this album and Boygenius a little better. But it's cool. Let's talk about their history a little bit. We've tried to leave all of it out of the previous episodes. We've like stopped dead at the Boygenius part just to save it for this. So if you came here from those episodes, welcome. And if you're going back to those episodes before you get to this, welcome back. Boygenius, they all kind of formed out of nowhere in 2018, right? All three of the boys were fans of each other's work, and they were touring together, they were playing together, and they just kind of all got close, and this little bit of spontaneous combustion happened. Phoebe and Lucy had opened for Julien on some of her tours, and all of them bonded over having their music compared to each other, despite being like very obviously different, right? Like, at this point, we've listened to 3 of their albums, and they're not the same. They're just kind of loosely in the same genre, but they bonded over critics and fans, like comparing and contrasting. And actually, they didn't love it because it felt like the industry, they said, was trying to pit them against each other. And in an effort to push back against that sort of thing, they said, nope, how about that? You can't pit us against each other. We'll join forces, and went hard in the opposite direction. The initial idea that they had was just for a co-headlining tour, right? Like a super tour of the 3 of them. And when they had that idea, they said, this is great. You know what would really tie the show together? If we had one big, like, grand finale kind of song that we could all sing together at the same time. So they sat down to write this big centerpiece of a song. Turns out they discovered they were really, really, really good at writing songs together. And they had so many ideas in this little brainstorming session that they wrote an entire EP's worth of tracks. Like, they just sat down and creative energy exploded from the trio. In a matter of 4 days, they had completely made, not written, made their 6-track self-titled debut EP. 4 days. And they decided to name themselves Boygenius. Even that was kind of a play on, like, the male-dominated music industry. Julien Baker said that they were all pretty tired of, quote, the archetype of the tortured genius, a specifically male artist who's been told since birth that their every thought is not only worthwhile, but brilliant. And Lucy said while they were making music, right, if they were stuck on an idea or overthinking something, she said if one person was having a thought, I don't know if this is good, it's probably terrible, it was like, no, be the Boygenius. Your every thought is worthwhile, just spit it out. So it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek critique of the industry, but also like a way that they motivated themselves to kind of let their own walls down and be open to all ideas in their writing sessions. And that's kind of really the energy that they bring to their music and to their style. Like, it's definitely packed into their debut EP. That bravado, the self-confidence, just the swagger of it. NPR called Boygenius, the EP, the 12th best album of 2018. And by the fall, they were headlining the tour that they'd initially planned for the 3 of them separately, and they took it on as Boygenius. They went all over the country, and it was kind of helpful, honestly, that they already had 3 separate fan bases to draw from that also had a lot of overlap. And of course, right, we talked about how Phoebe Bridgers was like the collab queen, how she has this collaborative spirit and features on so many different songs. Definitely she brought that to Boygenius as well. They've worked on a ton of projects as featured artists, including songs by Hayley Williams of Paramore. They've all collaborated on solo tracks by each individual member. I mean, we talked about it on Punisher, and we talked about it on Historian. I don't remember if it came up on Little Oblivions or not, but we've definitely talked about it a few times, how they would sing harmonies for each other. So they were tearing it up in 2018. And in 2022, they got to work writing and recording their obviously very highly anticipated debut proper album, The Record. They announced The Record in January of 2023, and they dropped the first 3 singles at once. They dropped $20, Emily I'm Sorry, and True Blue. Heck of a run of singles. Heck of a simultaneous drop. In March, 2 months later, and just a few weeks before the album came out, they also released a trio of music videos for those songs, directed by Kristen Stewart. And those all combined into one short story that they called The Film. One big overarching narrative. So there's The Record and there's The Film. Not Strong Enough and Cool About It would also later be singles from The Record. It was, needless to say, a smash hit. The Record has a Metacritic score of 90. DIY, NME, and Rolling Stone all gave it 5 stars. NME called it an instant classic, and Rolling Stone particularly highlighted how well they were able to mix their individual styles into a group dynamic that's like constantly in flux between the 3 of them. Alternative Press included The Record in the top 25 albums of the year. Pop Matters called it the second best rock album of 2023, and Rolling Stone also put it at number 2. NME put it at number 1. I mean, big praise. And on top of all of that, nomination for Album of the Year at the Grammys. So it's hard to get much higher honor than all of those things. In fact, In 2024, Boygenius and The Record were nominated for their first 7 Grammys. It was Album of the Year, it was Best Alternative Music Album, which they won, Best Engineered Album Non-Classical, Record of the Year for Not Strong Enough, which it did not win, Best Rock Song for Not Strong Enough, Best Rock Performance for Not Strong Enough, which it did win, and Best Alternative Music Performance for Cool About It. So of those 7 nominations, they won 3, making them tied for the second biggest winners of the night, which is pretty cool. And in fact, the only reason they weren't the very biggest winners of the night was because Phoebe also won a Grammy for her work with SZA, right? And so she took home 4, and then everyone else at the Grammys took home 3 or fewer. So after The Record and the film, guess what comes next?
What?
The tour.
The tour.
I kind of love their naming convention. The Record, the film, the tour. It's clever. I don't know. I just like it. The tour included 3 legs and a total of 36 shows. That's roughly 12 shows a leg if they were evenly distributed. After The Record, Boygenius put out another EP called The Rest, which I think is because it's the rest of the songs that didn't make the cut on The Record, which is pretty fun. Actually, the way they did it was cool too. They debuted 1 track at a time during their live shows on the tour until the whole EP had been performed, and then they released it.
Wow.
Ah, that's kind of cool. That's a fun way to do it.
It is a fun way to do it.
But tragedy. In between the time that Boygenius was nominated for that Album of the Year Grammy and now, and in fact, even before we did, I think, both the Julien Baker and Lucy Dacus episodes, Boygenius, in February of 2024, announced an indefinite hiatus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they decided to take a break, step away.
So wait, you were like, oh, they didn't win. We have a chance. And then immediately we're like, never mind.
It's going to be so far past the time they're on hiatus.
Well, I guess we have the biggest chance in the world now, right? I mean, we have all the time in the world to do the other 2 members. Why'd we rush it?
I mean, we didn't really rush it. It took a whole other year past Phoebe to get here.
Think about how many times we doubled.
Just a few. Yeah, no, they announced that hiatus on all their social media. They'll probably be back someday, I have to imagine. Because this is just such a good record. It'd be hard not to, right? I feel like I'd have a hard time staying away from making music with my good friends, music that was winning Grammys. I don't know. But yeah, who knows how that'll play out in the future. No news yet a year on, but time will tell. And that's what I've got. That's all the Boygenius stuff that was missing from the other episodes.
Wow. And
now it's time for the Mixtaper to come play some Factor Spin. His 13th through 16th questions about Boygenius members.
Yeah, let's get him on out here.
Let's get him on out here. Let's see what he's got next after chestnut pickups and pickle lies and plant songs and electrocutions and earwax candles. Who knows? It's been a wild ride. 12 really good facts so far.
Hey, it's me.
Hello, Mixtaper. Happy Gopher Day. Welcome to the show. Are you weeping?
No.
Oh.
Mixtapers don't cry.
Well, no, that's why I asked if you were weeping. It's like a step beyond crying.
Yeah, we do weep. We do weep. You're right. We do weep.
Yeah.
We don't cry, but we do weep.
Are you weeping?
I might be.
Why? Why are you sad? This is a joyous day. We get to celebrate the conclusion of an 80-episode arc for us.
Well, the Gopher's getting up there in age.
Oh.
This is his 3rd Gopher Day.
It is his 3rd. Yeah, we first met the Gopher in episode 45, and they have a lifespan of 1 to 3 years.
They do, so he's looking a little gray.
Well, he's lived a long life. I mean, 3 years that's the top of the lifespan.
He's just such a good sidekick. I don't know what a dastardly supervillain like me did to deserve such a good sidekick.
Yeah, you've had a good time together. And I'm sure he'll be fine. I mean, he'll be great. He's spry. So spry.
Maybe I can invent a new pumpkin spice latte that will serve as a magical elixir to keep him alive forever.
Oh, like the Fountain of Youth?
Yeah, but pumpkin spice flavored.
Of course.
I know what I'm going to get on after this is over. We got to speed this up. All right, let's go. 4 facts. I got work to do.
Speed this up? We haven't even started. How about we start before we try and speed up or slow down?
I've got a special themed round of Factor Spin. You might have been able to predict this was coming.
I just knew you'd have something this week because all the actual Boygenius Factor Spins have kind of been notable. I mean, the Phoebe Bridgers one was the first time you ever had fans submitted facts and like called on the audience for help. Mm-hmm. The Julien Baker episode was the first time you discovered Reddit, I think. You started looking on Reddit for facts about Julien Baker. And then the Lucy Dacus episode, you tried to sneakily make it all about Pokemon with different like move types in the facts about water and electric and fire and grass.
Yeah. And now we're back.
We're back for something.
With 4 facts, each with a Pokemon-inspired title.
Okay, so just the titles are Pokemon inspired this time.
Yeah. The facts themselves are still real facts. I just gave them all Pokemon inspired names.
Dude, a factor spin with a Pokemon inspired name. I'm sure this will be a great ball.
Boo.
Really? Okay, so you can do it, but I can't? Fine. Okay, fine. What's your first Pokemon inspired fact?
My first one is titled Earning the Friendship Badge.
Earning the Friendship Badge.
Yeah, earning the Friendship Badge.
I've played a few Pokemon games. Are you just talking about the badge from like the Friendship Gym?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember a friendship badge, but like it could be in there somewhere. Right. So Boygenius earned a badge from the Friendship Gym.
Uh-huh.
Why? What happened? Was their friendship like put to the test? Was it a trial situation like a Pokemon gym?
They got matching tattoos.
Matching tattoos. Oh, like a friendship badge. That's good. I like that.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
So fully matching tattoos, not like complementary tattoos or different parts of a full thing.
Yeah, I would say matching. I would use the word matching.
Okay. What are they?
Teeth.
Teeth? They got matching teeth tattoos?
Yeah.
Whose teeth?
Just a tooth. They each have a tooth. 3 teeth in total.
And they each have a lot more than one, but that's not the point. Why a tooth?
They've been a little cagey about exactly what the tooth means, but it seems to be a reference to their first EP, Bite the Hand. Because they got the teeth on their wrist up by their hand.
Interesting. That does seem to be a clever reference. So they all have the same tooth on their wrist.
Uh-huh.
Just a generic tooth.
They also got a second friendship badge, but more on that after we're done talking about the teeth.
Okay. So that one must not count towards the factor spin.
No, it does. Just I figure so as not to confuse the two.
The tooth. What else do I need to know about this tooth?
I don't know. You have any other questions about it?
Yeah, a lot, but I don't think you'll be able to answer them. How big is this tooth? Is it like a life-size tooth? Bigger than life-size?
I would say bigger than life size.
A giant tooth. Wow. Like a human tooth?
Yeah, it looks pretty human. I don't know. It just looks like a big human tooth.
Okay. Do the roots face the hand or face up the arm?
Oh, I don't know what that means.
The roots of the tooth.
Oh, the roots are facing towards the hand.
So that doesn't seem to make sense with Bite the Hand. Curious. Okay. I'm content with my knowledge of tattooth. What next?
Tattooth. A matching set of 3 goblets.
Okay, so these ones aren't identical. They're just like a set.
Oh, no, they each have 3 goblets, so 9 goblets.
Oh, okay. Got it. Do the goblets, represent one of them each?
I think so. Yeah, that seems to be. It also seems to be a reference to tarot.
Ah. Now, where do they have the goblets?
2 of them have it on their, bicep, and the other one has it, up under their ear.
Oh, gosh. What? A place you're never going to see it.
And apparently, tarot card meanings, the 3 of Cups tarot meaning is when you draw the 3 of Cups, you will see 3 women lifting their cups up in the air in a celebration of some sort. Good times are in the air for the 3 ladies having wreaths made of flowers in their hair. Wreaths are often associated with success and victory, so their happiness is well deserved. The ladies are also seen standing on top of a field of flowers and fruit, further adding to the joyful feelings in the cards. So it seems like it's kind of a tarot reference of oh, we have good times together, and there's 3 of us, and we're awesome.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Friendship badge.
Friendship badge. I'm worried about this one. There's 2 of them.
Okay.
It'd be so easy to make up one and not the other.
Uh-huh.
The tooth is really what's got me here.
Why the tooth?
I just don't know why you'd lie about the tooth. Or why you wouldn't my point is, have you looked at this album cover?
Uh-huh.
Right, so the tooth is there.
Uh-huh.
So are you lying about the cups? That's the point. The tooth is obviously the truth. The tooth is the truth. It's just, do I believe this 3 of cups thing?
Oh, there might be a reason why I made sure to include both in the fact, so that it wasn't just a dead giveaway.
Yeah, well, that's smart. I think the tooth being true makes me think the cups are false. I think I'm going to say it's a spin.
Going with spin.
Yeah, I'm going with spin. It's messing with my head that the teeth are all on the album cover. All 3 of them. So there's really, I feel like you'd lie about it. I don't know.
I can confirm. Is there a Pokemon themed pun I can make about revealing the answer? Hang on, let me think.
About revealing the answer? I don't know. I walk through the tall grass.
Ooh.
A wild answer appears.
Are you trying to earn the Mixtaper badge?
Oh, I like that.
If you can successfully get, we'll say at least to a 50-50, earns you the badge.
I love that. That's great.
Well, I can confirm that you have not gotten this portion of the badge. This is a true fact.
Yeah, I thought you maybe just made it up to compliment the tooth thing and mess with my head.
There's the cups.
The cups. Look at that. Matching set.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
2 matching tattoos. Okay, kids, let this be a warning about tattoos, all right? You think they're cool, you think they're hip, get some matching teeth with your friends.
It's some matching teeth.
Think you're going to be lifelong friends, and then you go on hiatus.
And what then?
All right, now what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, huh? Your tattoos are just, now they're just teeth on your arm. Actually, you might not know this, Mixtaper. Connor and I have matching tattoos.
What? I wasn't invited to the matching tattoos?
Yeah, we have no tattoos, so we match.
Oh, yeah, I can't match with you. I have a tattoo.
What? Where?
Tramp stamp.
A dastard stamp.
I have a dastard stamp.
Yeah, what is it?
Wouldn't you like to know?
It's probably a gopher. Anyway.
Leave it up to the audience's imagination.
Yeah, imagine that.
Just know the Mixtaper has a dastard stamp.
Love it. I should have said true. I don't know what I was thinking.
I know.
Darn it. Well, I'm going to advance in the gym anyway because that's how this gym works.
Yeah, this gym, you get, most gyms just have a gym leader you fight. This is more like the final 4.
Oh, that's true. But I just fight you again and again and again and again. And if I lose, I still move on.
Yeah. Listen, it's not, parallels aren't always perfect. Up next, they recorded at the Forest Gym.
Okay. Did they record in the middle of the woods?
Technically.
Technically. How technically?
Well, it's a treehouse studio located in California's Redwood Forest.
Oh, that's sick. What did they record there?
It's an acoustic version of Souvenirs of Solitude.
Ooh, very solitudinous. Thank you. Just the one song, huh?
Yeah, they recorded one song. Ask me the studio.
Okay.
I got some cool information about the studio. I'll be honest, I have more information about the studio than I do about the song.
Yeah, I figured as much, and that's why I wanted to get the song information out of the way first, because I know that's a rabbit hole we're going to go down.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or climb up. Tell me more.
They recorded, it was actually a night session as well.
Oh, so you can not see the forest for the trees. What's the studio called?
It's called the Redwood Evergreen Soundscape Studio.
That's 2 different types of tree in one.
It is.
What's the studio like? Like, you say it's a treehouse studio. Is it up in a redwood?
It's a, quote, place where the trees could inspire the tunes.
Yeah, but is it, like, elevated off the ground?
I don't think so. Not from the pictures, unless there's stuff outside of this picture. It looks like it's, like, built kind of around a tree.
And the tree grows up, like, through it?
Yeah, and then there's, like, a bunch of, like, string lights wrapped around the tree to give it, like, some nighttime atmosphere.
So it's like a circular building? Circular room?
It's like a... Gosh, I'm trying to think of how best...
Like a donut.
I mean, sure.
On a stick. Then the tree is the stick.
I guess, yeah. It's a donut on a stick. Let's go with that. Yeah, it's a circular building made out of wood. It's like a wooden building. So it's like a log. I don't want to call it a log cabin because it's not made out of logs. But, you know, it's like it's a wood cabin.
A wood cabin. Yeah, you never do hear about cabins in other material than log. Kind of lame.
Yeah, it's a wooden cabin, pretty circular, tree in the middle of it. It's pretty cool looking.
It sounds pretty cool. How'd they find this place?
An audio engineer that works there is a friend of Lucy Dacus.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Darn it. It's a situation where I have to decide if you just heard about this tree studio and thought it was neat.
One of those.
Yeah. Or it's real and true. And unfortunately, I don't think the album cover is going to help me at all with this one. Although last time it just confused me and steered me wrong.
It sounded like it didn't really help you with the last one. Yeah, it just confused you.
Yeah, I suppose I'm going to say this one is a spin.
Going with spin?
Yeah, I like this studio a lot. It sounds really cool. And I just have a hunch that you thought it was really cool too.
This is a spin.
A spin. I got a third of the way to the badge.
Half. You only got to get the 50-50, so that's half the badge.
Well, but I already missed the one of them, so... Yeah, I guess I am halfway to the badge. You're right.
Yeah, and actually, I started off just completely made it up. Made up the name of the studio, made up its description, everything. But then, I did get curious. Does something like this exist? And it does.
Oh.
I found an article talking about how CeeLo Green recorded inside of a treehouse studio.
Well, forget him.
There's a unique 2-story treehouse recording studio built at Bear Creek Studio in Woodinville, Washington. And apparently the construction of it was documented on the Animal Planet reality TV show Treehouse Masters.
So is it like a donut on a stick?
It's not. I didn't want the real life thing to influence my spin.
I see. Well, it sounds like a cool little place. Sounds like a nifty concept.
Yeah.
See, you kind of did fool me a little bit because never for a second did I consider that the studio was fake.
Yeah.
So take comfort in that. Moving on. Fact number 3. I choose you.
Fact number 3. A rare, shiny album.
Okay. So, if you're not familiar with Pokemon, props to you for still listening. Like, shinies are special, rare variants of Pokemon. They only show up like once every very many Pokemon. Like, they're super rare. So, a rare shiny album would be an album that is hard to get and probably different in appearance than the rest of them. Are we talking like
Correct.
a limited pressing of a record? Of the record?
Of their debut EP.
Oh, of Boygenius by Boygenius. What's so special about this record? Why is it so rare?
It features a unique colored record and exclusive artwork.
What color's the record? Oh, it's so rare, I haven't even seen it. It's so rare, I don't even know about it.
Well, they've released actually several. Let's just say in the Boygenius Pokemon world, shinies are not that rare, honestly.
Oh.
They've done a lot of special edition releases of their stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, I saw when I just was Googling, looking for confirmation on this, that there was one that was like a 5th anniversary yellow edition of the EP. I saw a version that was like a blue color. So I seen a couple different ones, and I couldn't figure out which one was the original one. That
so many variants, you can't even tell what the real one is.
I've seen a black, a blue, and a yellow at least.
When everybody's special, nobody is.
Yeah, so I've seen at least 3 different shinies. You got like, I guess what, the original, the shiny, and the the Aloha version or whatever.
I don't know.
Maybe that's the yellow one. You know how there's like Aloha Pikachu or whatever.
Detective Pikachu.
You know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, no, just sure.
No, what is it? Hang on. It's Aloha, right? Aloha Pokemon.
I have no idea.
Alola Pokedex, not Aloha, please.
Aloha Pokemon sounds like Lilo and Stitch. I'll be really honest.
It really does, doesn't it?
They said, hey, Disney tried to do our thing. Let's do it the Pokemon way.
But yeah, there's definitely like a version of Pikachu in one of the games that's like the Alola Pokedex is introduced in Gen 7 from Alola. Yeah, it's like there's like a special island and like the Pikachu's there wear like Hawaiian shirts or something. I don't know. I remember seeing.
They just wear Hawaiian shirts?
I don't know. Listen, there's a clear image of Pikachu in a Hawaiian shirt, and I don't know where that's coming from in my brain, but it exists.
It looks like he just rides his tail. Well, you clearly know more about it than me.
There's regulars, there's shinies, and then there's also like whatever those are. So that's what I'm telling you they've got here for this special EP.
Sure. A rare shiny album, just different variants of the EP.
Yeah.
I'll call it a spin.
It's calling it a spin.
Yeah, honestly, it seems kind of like a gimme. It seems too easy to be actually true. Like, it seems like why wouldn't they do that?
This is a true fact. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I assumed you'd be trying to trick me with it.
You were about to earn the badge.
I thought you were trying to trick me with it. It seemed way too easy.
No.
And
oh my gosh.
well, you presented it like it was a rare shiny album, like they only made a few of a special kind, and you're like, they're everywhere. There are so many, I don't even know what the normal one is. It's like, well, that doesn't sound rare.
To be fair, according to sources, the original rare edition sold out in minutes and became quite had quite a resale value on people like reselling them.
Oh, I'm sure.
But then since that, they've done also like the 5th edition, the 5th anniversary edition and stuff like that. So they've made it less rare, but it started out really rare.
The Boygenius Aloha edition.
Yeah.
That's where they play all their songs on a ukulele.
Oh man, I angered a lot of Pokemon fans with that one, I'm sure.
Probably a few Boygenius fans too, but mostly the Pokemon fans.
Yeah. Well, you ready for your final chance to earn the Mixtaper badge?
Yeah, I'm going to be really sad if I don't get it.
You did it to yourself.
Yeah, I guess I should have just taken that one when I had it. It could have been so easily true. I don't know what I was thinking.
You weren't. But a wild song appears.
A wild song appears?
Yeah, that's your last fact.
What song is that?
An improvised song.
Uh-oh. Yeah, go on. Where do they play an improvised song?
On stage.
Well, that's reasonable. Okay. When did they play an improvised song?
2022.
Okay. Why did they play an improvised song?
The crowd really wanted an encore.
Oh, and they didn't have one ready for some reason?
Well, I think it was like probably, you know how like nowadays it's like you got to have at least 3 encores, or are you even a musician?
No, but
you know,
yeah, go on.
You know what I'm talking about though. Like encores are a given at this point.
Definitely.
They're not special. Everybody does an encore. But anyway, they did I think their bass encore, and then they were like, "No, you're not done yet. Get back out here and entertain us." And they were like, "Okay." Pretty soon was a direct quote.
Yeah. And so they made up a song on the spot for this encore.
I wouldn't say on the spot.
Okay.
The melody and lyrics were loosely based on a song the band had been experimenting with and working out. So it was kind of like a first look at what would eventually become one of their songs.
Like they had it ready to go.
Yeah, it was in its infancy, right? So there was still some like made up parts, some things that changed between what they performed and what actually made the song, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, you want a song? Let me just make one up. Boop-a-da-doop-a-doop.
Got it. That's what I kind of expected when you started the fact. What song did it turn into?
Turned into Voyager.
Ooh, a wild song appears. I don't know. I mean, I talked about how they kind of rolled out the 4 songs that are on the rest as part of their live shows.
Yep.
I don't know if it was in encore fashion or if like that's how they started doing it was through this. But I think I'm going to say this is a fact. Yeah, okay. All right.
So what are you going to lock in there?
I'm going to have to lock in the fact. Oh. Well, all that nuance was lost. It just cut out entirely the first time.
Oh.
It just sounded like you just had a really like major cough. So
what are you gonna lock in?
Okay. Well, yeah, but do I want to believe that?
I don't know. Do you? I am a dastard.
Well, I'm convinced. Okay, sure. I'll say spin. I've changed my mind, and for reasons unbeknownst to me, I no longer believe this.
This is a true fact. No, could you imagine?
Lose it. That would be so mean, and I really would not put it past you.
This is a spin.
Oh, what? I had no idea. How lucky.
Oh my gosh. Congrats. You've earned the second ever Mixtaper badge.
You know, I really don't feel like I've earned it, though.
Third ever Mixtaper badge.
It feels like I just save scrubbed my Pokemon gym run. That's really how that feels. Like I was doing a Nuzlocke, and the one that I really, really liked died, so I just didn't save the game and came back and tried again.
Well, you were supposed to unlock it on the last one. That was a nice give me. And then I was going to get you on this one. And then you went and screwed up the surefire win.
Yeah, I did. Well, I thought you were trying to trick me. And that's what you get for always being a dastard. You know, you call your character into question on a weekly basis, and I'm just left assuming.
That's how I like it.
You know what they say about assuming? Don't do it.
Well, that was an exciting Pokemon-themed round of Fact or Spin.
Yeah, I was not the Boygenius.
You were not.
But we tied.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Let's see. So what was my record here? On Phoebe Bridgers, we went 50-50. On Julien Baker and Little Oblivions, I went 1-3, so you won that one.
Oof.
On Lucy Dacus, we went 50-50. And here we went 50-50, so...
Ooh, we went 50-50. So that means I win.
Just barely.
By 2.
Yeah, that's just barely.
Wouldn't call that barely.
It's as little as you could win by, actually.
It's true.
Well, there you go. That's the end to that unexpected 4-episode arc as well. 3 ties and a 1-point win.
Well, have a happy Gopher day, and I'm off to go frolic in a field with my sidekick.
Please enjoy it while it lasts.
At least one more time. Wait, what? No, I have work to do. I gotta get in the lab.
No time to frolic. Wait, no, enjoy what could potentially be...
No, I need to save him. I will save him.
Good luck.
I will put my doctorate of evil to use and save my sidekick.
I believe in you. Good luck.
Yeah!
Well, that'll be fun. Welcome back, Connor.
I made a run to the pet store while he was doing all that.
To the pet store? Yeah, what'd you get at the pet store?
A backup plan, just in case this doctorate of evil falls through.
Probably pretty wise. Yeah, advisable. Well, let's talk once more about this album cover. It already accidentally came up during Factor Spin. Who knew? Look at these hands and the teeth on them. I'm never, ever going to be able to unsee them.
The Mixtaper says you're welcome.
The Mixtaper welcomes me. Yeah, I've practically never noticed them before. And now, it's like all I can look at.
And now you can't unsee them.
Teeth. That's pretty wild. What do you think?
Hard teeth.
Yeah, hard teeth. Pretty cool, right?
3 teeth reaching for the sky.
Reaching for the sky. It's an interesting idea for an album cover. Not bad. I kind of like the sunset vibes.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Although, is it weird that the sun, I guess because the sun is setting, it's lower. It just feels like the sun is like coming from the bottom right corner, which is not the corner suns normally come from.
Well, no.
But I guess maybe the angle of the camera and the fact that it's sunset makes that work.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just whatever direction they're facing.
I'll allow it. Are you an upper left corner or upper right corner or like full circle sun drawer when you were a kid? When you like would draw a sun?
I'm not a full circle, but I think it depends on the scene. I probably tend towards upper right corner.
Upper right. And now, did you do the little dash marks to represent like the rays of sun coming off, or did you just draw a corner circle?
You can't just draw a corner circle.
Well, listen, there are some weird kids out there.
Did you just draw a corner circle?
No. I was a straight line ray of sun, and some people I knew did squiggly lines.
Oh yeah, I was a straight line. Yeah.
And then I think I also favored the right. But you're right, it kind of depends on the scene. If I've got something that's going to be taking up a lot of the right, I will move it to the left. It just doesn't feel quite the same. The right is where I prefer. One time I got real fancy and drew a cloud and then drew a half circle out of the cloud.
Oh gosh, that's an advanced technique.
I know.
That's like a first grade technique. They don't teach it in kindergarten.
I know.
Like you see your friend do it for the first time and you go, was that even legal? Then you go tell the principal and the principal doesn't care. Up first on this album is track number 1, Without You, Without Them. It is the shortest track on the album at 1 minute and 21 seconds. It is the only a cappella track on this album.
A cappella.
That's the way that you just sang. That's pretty cool. The band calls the song a love letter to the mortifying ordeal of being known, written in a pandemic world that violently reminded us how much we need each other. What did you think of Without You, Without Them?
I love their harmony of their voices.
I know, it's so good. It's a thing that you've heard in the past with a lot of instruments over top of it, but now there's nowhere to hide.
Parts of it kind of gave me Barbershop Quartet vibes, which is weird because there was only 3 of them.
Barbershop Trio.
I guess if you count Boygenius, that's 4.
Oh, just the essence of the band?
Yeah, well, that's how they listed the credits on all the songs, at least on Spotify. It lists all 3 of them individually and then also Boygenius.
Well, yeah, so it shows up on all of their individual pages as well as...
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm just saying. Makes it look like maybe a quartet.
That's true.
But anyway, I really liked it.
I do too. I think it's a really good start to the album.
I feel like it gets a little drowned out by some of the other stuff on the album if you let it.
Well, yeah, that's why it's got to start the album off. It kind of intrigues you.
Yeah, but by the time you get 12 tracks deep, sometimes it can feel a little forgotten if you're not careful.
That's true. Well, especially because they've kind of front-loaded the album, in my opinion. A lot of big hits. Yeah, Without You, Without Them fades to the background pretty quickly. But it's cool. Lyrically, I like it. I want to hear your story and be a part of it.
I do. No, I like it a lot.
Like, who would I be without you in my life? So thank your family for making you the person that you are. Talk to me until your history's no mystery to me. That's pretty cool. It's like simple, but like profound.
Did you mention in your rundown about how their first like EP was a bunch of songs that they'd all individually half written and then came together to help one another finish?
Something like that.
Did they do any of that on this album? Or was this more from the beginning collaborative?
I think they did a lot of the same sort of thing with half-finished things, and some of them came from the ground up, from scratch. But yeah, I also think they kind of cobbled some together and worked through writer's block, and yeah, it was definitely an atmosphere of that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It was neat, and Phoebe Bridgers talked about performing this song, and she said singing with others and having the instrument literally be your body is a really embodying experience. And then to have that kind of be like the entire agency of your expression, it's really nice to have it sit in a complimentary way. It's cool. You're right, their voices do blend really well. And I'm sure you could predict that they would after hearing all 3 of the albums individually. Kind of a neat first look at them all together.
Yeah. Hey, James, the Mixtaper's informing me that he needs you to sign the contract to receive your Mixtaper badge.
A contract?
Yeah, just stating, that you do not own the Mixtaper badge, that you are simply holding on to it. The Mixtaper reserves all ownership and royalty rights and sellers' rights to the Mixtaper badge.
Like a Grammy.
Yeah, exactly like a Grammy. I think that's really he just kind of copied their contract and changed the title, if I'm 100% honest. I think he even forgot to change the word Grammy once or twice as I'm looking through this thing.
That's so like him.
But also he says there's a $20 fee.
$20? Wow.
Yeah, you got to pay $20 for the right to hold on to a Mixtaper badge.
What an honor. Yeah, that's great. Maybe I'll ask Boygenius if they can give me $20.
Oh, well, what a coincidence. They've got $20 right now on
track number 2. $20. It's a Julien written track, at least most of it, which is, again, collaborative. She brought most of the song and they sat down and they worked on it. They said that Julien wrote $20 after realizing what she wanted for the band was more sick riffs. She said, you don't want to seem like or be a superficial meathead, but it's things like sick riffs that make you truly giddy when you're first learning how to play, making music with your friends for no reason. So this is her attempt to make a sick riff, and I think it works. Do. That's such a nice little hook. Such a fun thing to build a verse over.
It's an awesome hook.
Yeah.
Big fan of that hook. Maybe my second favorite hook, right behind Captain.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. And the way that it moves between my left and right ear is my second favorite pan right after Peter.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, I like the background vocals.
Yeah, really cleverly constructed. I like how it feels really layered in that kind of chaotic back end of the song.
Yes.
Just a big wash, just a big wall of sound that you kind of get to participate in and float around. Phoebe said, the main vibe I was thinking of is in Hitchhikers in San Francisco. Some buds hanging out with their feet sticking out of the van camping. The vibe of traveling friends, and my only contribution is needing $20. That was her idea when she was contributing to the song. And actually, she was originally going to have a whole second verse to herself, but then she decided all she wanted to do was just sing, can I have $20? That's the only thing that Phoebe decided to pitch in.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. I like how they, just by the end of the song, they're just yelling.
Yeah, they really are.
It's their only solo part, I should say. She does some harmonies. So many hills to die on is a great line. That's so cool. That's just really, I don't know, embodies a lot of what the song feels like to me. Now, can you guess who was the primary writer on the next song, Emily, I'm Sorry?
No.
No. What? It sounds exactly like every other song on Punisher.
That was over a year ago.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's true. And it all got shredded in the filing cabinet. I know. I remember. Yeah, Emily, I'm Sorry is a very Phoebe Bridgers style song. Apparently she wrote it and sent it to the boys shortly after Punisher, and she did it in hopes that it would kind of like rekindle the spark of Boygenius, because she wanted to get back and make more music, and they kind of secretly all did. She said we were all nervous to bring it up. We all thought that we were more excited than the other person. And then when she presented them with Emily, I'm Sorry, they all realized that they were on the same page and they really wanted to come back. And so they did. It is most probably about Phoebe's ex, Emily, who is even in the music video for Kyoto on Punisher.
Oh.
Yeah, now I love this song so much. I think it's got a really great melody from the verse to the chorus. I like the way that it builds from there's just this like reverby kind of guitar, and we add some quiet drums.
I liked $20 more, but I do like Emily, I'm Sorry.
Really? You like $20 more?
I do.
This song gave me serious chills when I was listening to it before this episode.
Really?
Like, oh, we just hit that second verse, and it's just like, oh, goosebumps. Love it so much. It's just the way that she writes. Headed straight for the concrete in a nightmare, screaming. Now I'm wide awake, spiraling, and you don't want to talk. Man, I just adore that verse and that writing style, that imagery. It's so good. And it only gets better. I'm 27 and I don't know who I am, but I know what I want. I just like it a lot. I like the way that it builds. The instrumentation has a really satisfying kind of ebb to it. And don't pretend, I mean, that chorus is awesome too. I like how she goes up into her higher register for a little bit there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I like $20 and True Blue better than Emily, I'm Sorry. And so Emily, I'm Sorry gets a little drowned out off one listen.
Okay. You know,
like, I do like Emily, I'm Sorry. I have some decent notes here about the higher register. I do like the higher register. I like how it ebbs and flows melody-wise.
Yeah.
But the hook of $20 and the instrumentation on True Blue, I think, overwhelm Emily, I'm Sorry a little.
Interesting.
Off of just one listen. This is definitely an album that I think I will give more than one listen.
Well, that's exciting.
Simply because I think it requires it.
Yeah. Yeah, it might. Especially because there's so much nuance between the three of them.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, to talk about True Blue, it doesn't surprise me that you liked it better because you did like Historian better than Punisher, and True Blue is a very Lucy Dacus style song. I really like the way that True Blue kind of calls back to being known and that theme that we talked about on Without You, Without Them, right? When you don't know who you are, mess around and find out. And like, it feels good to be known so well is the main hook of that. Without You, Without Them is celebrating knowing someone else, right? And True Blue is kind of like celebrating being known by someone. It's like two halves of the same coin. I can't hide from you like I hide from myself. It's such a powerful image.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she counters that with, I remember who I am when I'm with you. Not only can I not hide from you, you make me unable to hide from myself. Your love is tough, your love is tried in True Blue, and it's good, it's loyal, it's faithful, it's powerful. Oh, True Blue has its own merits. I can't fault you for liking it more than Emily, I'm Sorry. Emily, I'm Sorry is a sad song. It's an apologetic song. True Blue,
I'm not in my sad era.
No, Yeah, True Blue kind of revels in like emotional intimacy. Emily, I'm Sorry kind of wallows, and there's the difference.
Sure. Like the difference between weeping and crying.
Yeah, exactly. Subtle but important.
I like that line, "You've never done me wrong except for that one time," that we don't talk about.
Yeah, and they said we don't keep score.
That's just what losers say.
The winners always keep score. They know who's winning.
They know who's winning. If you think you don't keep score in your relationship, that means you're the loser.
Yikes. Ouch. Dang.
Well, now we've hit our first bigger hit. I'd say there's two really big hits on this album based on the plays.
Yeah, well,
Back to back.
cool about it. Yeah, it's the first time we jump up from the tens of millions into the hundreds of millions. What did you think of cool about it? Did it sound kind of familiar to you? Did it feel familiar?
Hang on, let me check the filing cabinet. Yeah, shredded. No.
Wow. Well, cool about it is inspired by everyone's favorite man named Paul Simon. Paul Simon.
Ooh, that's only my second favorite man named Paul Simon.
Well, almost everyone's favorite Paul Simon. Cool about it even interpolates part of the boxer from Bridge Over Troubled Water, which we talked about less than 10 episodes ago. How long has it been? What day is this?
That's 2.5 months.
13 episodes ago?
Whoa.
It's been 13 episodes since we talked about Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Over 3 months.
Man, time flies. Anyway, yeah, we talked about Paul Simon, old Jerry.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would never have put the connection together, but to learn about it and study the song and hear them say that and then listen to it, it's totally like the boxer.
It's pretty cool.
Julien gets to sing the lead on a lot of this one. She's trying to be cool about it, feeling like an absolute fool about it, wishing you were kind enough to be cruel about it.
I can walk you home and practice method acting. I'll pretend being with you doesn't feel like drowning.
Water Pokemon. Just saying.
Just saying. For those keeping score.
Yeah. Tell you it's nice to see how good you're doing, even though we know it isn't true. Like, there's clearly been a falling out with this person in the past that you used to be close to and on good terms with, and now it's uncomfortable and weird, and you're struggling to keep your head above water, struggling to stay cool about it. I just love the parallelism, right? Cool about it, cruel about it. Like, all that is great, and then trying to forget about it, breaking a sweat about it, get out of my head about it. Really, just this about it kind of like rhyme scheme that we build is really effective. It's tough. I feel like everybody's kind of felt that way at some point.
Yeah.
Like trying to keep the mask up.
Not me. I'm built different.
Built different. Yeah. You never have to be cool about it. Don't worry. You're not.
No, but yeah, no, it's definitely a feeling I think a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah. I kind of just like the plucky stringed instrument style of it. You know, it's almost like banjo-y. It's just really cool. Really unique. And then we get into the second big hit of this album, the 2 Grammy-winning hit single, Not Strong Enough. It won Best Rock Song and Best Rock Performance at the 2024 Grammys.
Rightfully so. It's a good song.
It's a good song. Oh, man. It was nominated for that Record of the Year, too. I mean, this is a really well-produced song, and people recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell right away for me, like, when the drums kick in. That always catches me just right. Oh.
Yeah, you're like, oh, all right, here we go. Banger time.
Yeah, it's so good. I don't know why I am the way I am. I'm not strong enough to be your man. Can't stop staring at the ceiling fan and spinning out about things that haven't happened. Like, there's just this overwhelming sense of overthinking that kicks off. Not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. As Phoebe says, it's being like I'm not strong enough to show up for you. I can't be the partner that you want me to be. But also being like I'm too messed up. I'm unknowable in some deep way. She says self-hatred is a God complex sometimes where you think you're the most messed up person who's ever lived. Straight up, you're not. And it can make people behave really selfishly. And she said, I love each of our interpretations of that concept. Kind of like, you know, everyone gets their own verse, right? Everyone gets their own thing.
Yeah.
So Phoebe takes the first verse with the black hole opened in the kitchen and the clocks are a different time and I don't have the energy to fix it. I'm spiraling. It's a mess. Julien gets the second verse, right? Drag racing through the canyon, kind of calling back to some of that imagery from like The Strike, right?
Yep.
Do you see us getting scraped up off the pavement? It reminded me of that other song on her record, the one about the car that exploded. I think it's just a very familiar image for Julien, this kind of like car accident situation. And then Lucy gets to do this bridge, always an angel, never a god, which calls back to that God concept, the world's revolving around me. I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough power to take care of the situation. Lucy said, as it was shaping up, I think that the song was just looking like it was going to be only about having a little bit of mental illness, just being like, I don't know, I'm frustrated that my brain works how it does. So I was like, okay, what's going to be more expected of us than writing about hating our own brains? And then I think it got more special to me when the element, like Phoebe has expressed it as self-hatred plus having a God complex. Like sometimes you feel like you're the best thing ever. And both of these states can be happening at the same time.
A self-hated God.
Yeah, and that's the balance that they strike, or try to, in Not Strong Enough. And I think they do succeed.
Very good song.
Yeah, it is. And then we kind of fall hard into the back half of the record.
Whoa, dang.
Well, we do. Look at the play count.
Fall hard.
The play count kind of plummets. The melodies get a little less memorable for the most part. Just the back half of the album, for me, has never stuck with me as good as Side A. And that's a shame.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Side A, like you said, it's front-loaded.
It is. But Side B starts off with Revolution 0, which, I appreciate is a play on the Beatles, right? They did Revolution 1, Revolution 9, number 9, number 9. They originally called it Paul is Dead, after the infamous conspiracy theory. You can hear more about that in the B-side of episode 100. But they said Revolution 0 is a song about falling in love online. Phoebe said with the attention span of being in lockdown, it was just really beautiful. And so that's what she sings about. Imaginary friends you live in my head. Like this person I know, I've never connected with physically, only digitally. Everything that I know about you is largely constructed from imagination and anticipation. And like, that's tough.
It is tough.
But if it isn't love, then what the heck is it?
That's a lie, but I'm afraid to get sick.
Yeah, it's interesting. She just really does a good job at capturing and conveying the essence of like trying so desperately to connect with somebody in such a, it's such a tough medium, such a tough way to make that kind of connection. Revolution 0, 0, it just implies this tiredness, this lack of energy that you just feel tangibly. How did you feel about this kind of long minute and a half section at the end of the song that's just syllables, just ah?
It is good if you're just putting this record on in the background. To try to like intently listen and take notes on for a podcast, a bit rough.
A bit long if you're taking notes.
Yeah.
That's probably true. But you know what? Most people aren't doing that.
But it really helps set a good vibe, I think, for the song. So like again, to have just on, it sets a good ambiance.
Yeah, it definitely is. It provides a lot of atmosphere, and it lets you sit with the emotion and the message of the song for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of forces your hand to contemplate. Up next is Leonard Cohen. This song is kind of funny because it's based on a true story.
Yeah?
The lyrics say, on the on-ramp, you said, if you love me, you'll listen to this song, and I could tell you were serious. So I didn't tell you were driving the wrong way.
Oh.
And so she added an hour to the drive. That's a true story.
What?
Lucy said in 2021, we were in Northern California driving back to LA, and Phoebe was like, have y'all not heard The Trapeze Swinger by Iron and Wine? She got on the interstate in the wrong way, and I noticed partway through the song, but she was so serious. She was like, y'all need to shut up and listen to this. It was not going to be okay to interrupt in the moment. It's like a 10-minute song, or maybe more, and Julien and I were like, that's awesome. You're going to have to turn around, though. So this is like the story of that, and it's a tribute to Leonard Cohen. He died in 2016, but, this song obviously pays homage to him, and it includes some quotes from his 1992 track Anthem, right? There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And I think that's a really cool line.
That is a cool line.
I can't attribute it to Boygenius, but it's a cool line by Leonard Cohen.
It's a very cool line. But also, it's a little wrong.
Is it?
Light can get in through like an actual opening that is intentional. I feel like a crack is
an accident. A crack's in it.
I feel like crack implies it shouldn't be there. And it can let in more light, which can be like the silver lining when a crack does form. But I feel like most light gets in from intentional means.
You don't have to break a window to see through it.
Yeah.
You're right. You have a point.
But that's not as beautiful.
I think you're thinking a little too literal about it.
I'm a literal guy.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's a really fun story. I like how they changed the lighthearted story into something way heavier at the end with that Leonard Cohen quote.
Yeah.
And in the middle, we still touch right on the subject of being known. I might like you less now that you know me so well. I've told you so much about me that I don't know if I can appreciate you in the same way anymore. Wonder if that's true. Wonder if there's anyone in my life I would like less if they knew me more.
If they knew me more?
Yeah.
There's plenty of people I think I would like less if I knew them more.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
I'm trying to think of how that would even work. What about knowing me better would make me like them less? Unless them knowing more about me made them behave differently around me.
Oh. Ooh. That's a big one. Maybe they do. Maybe they like you less, so their behavior changes and you like them less.
I'm just thinking, or like maybe they learn a detail about you and then
play to it or cater to it.
I don't know, treat you with pity or whatever, right? Or use it to manipulate you, or there's several scenarios I could think of where I would not appreciate someone using details they've learned about me against me and would make me like them less.
Yeah, that's fair. Reasonable.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Will you be a nihilist with me?
A nihilist? No.
Oh, okay.
If I was a nihilist, that wouldn't really matter anyway. Satanist is the next song, and it does posit a lot of questions just like that. In fact, exactly that question in the second verse.
Yeah.
Satanist, it's a song asking if someone you love would be committed enough to adopt some unconventional beliefs to stay in your life. Like, would you be a Satanist with me?
Yeah.
Would you mortgage your soul to go down to Florida? Would you be an anarchist with me? Would you spray paint my initials on an ATM? Would you be a nihilist with me? It asks all these big questions, and yeah, just like trying to test the commitment of the person that you're interested in.
And these are all details that person is learning about me, and when they say no, it's going to make me like them less.
Oh, good tie back. Yeah. I think Satanist is a bright spot on the back half of the album for me. I think the guitar part really kind of brings me back almost to $20 in its like mega hook style, big riffs.
I also like Satanist. It goes through a couple different like styles too. Like it really slows down at like the 3.5 minute mark.
Yeah.
So even though it's a longer song, I mean almost 5 minutes.
It never feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, it mixes itself up enough to stay fresh.
Definitely. And it all sounds good. Like it's a really like crisp, crunchy kind of song when it starts. There's enough distortion on that guitar. Just a lot that I really like about the way it sounds.
We're quickly approaching the end though. We only got 3 tracks left.
That's true.
And just as we were falling in love.
Oh, yeah. We're in Love is the next track.
With Boygenius.
Well, we're in love with Boygenius. That's reasonable. Listen to this album they've been giving us.
I'm in love with teeth. What a dentist says on his first day at dentist school.
I'm in love with teeth. Yeah. Sounds like a good way to get fired as a dentist.
What? No, I want a dentist who loves teeth. I don't want a dentist who hates teeth.
Well, I want a dentist who's passionate about...
Yeah, has a good love for teeth.
A healthy respect for the tooth.
Doesn't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Doesn't forget the power it has.
Right. Yeah, the power he wields. Yeah. Well, We're in Love is up next, and it's got nothing to do with teeth. It is a song about being in love.
Can you really say that about any Boygenius song now that you know what you know?
They're kind of all about teeth.
They're in love with teeth.
At least enough to wear them on their wrists. They wear their teeth on their sleeve, as any good band would.
So brave.
So brave. We're in Love comes out of the gate swinging. You could absolutely break my heart. That's how I know we're in love. Ooh.
Yeah, and that line doesn't come at the tempo or beat I would have expected it to. It sounds like such a hard line that you would expect a more up-tempo thing, but it kicks you right off with like a sing-songy ballads.
Yeah.
This song feels like it should be on an old-timey radio at the beginning.
Yeah.
Give it that like old-timey radio filter that like they'll use whenever they're making a movie set back in the olden day.
Yeah.
Like have it recorded through one of those old-timey microphones. Give it that sound. But it's got the right tempo and feel.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know why, but specifically when listening to this song, I Can't Help Falling in Love vibes.
I believe that.
Other than the fact that both titles have the word love in them. Just their vibe and their style kind of remind me of one another.
Yeah. I guess the first time that Lucy sang this song, she sang it to Phoebe, a cappella, just out loud alone. And when Julien heard it, she thought it was really long.
Well, it is almost 5 minutes.
I know. It is a long song and it's a slow song. The energy is very different than a lot of other stuff on this album.
Yeah.
But in the end, she came around to it, learned to love it. She said it's still a learning process to know the difference between being scrutinized and being seen. And We're in Love is a song that, to someone who's not used to it, feels like scrutiny, right? We're like stripped down,
Like when somebody points out like one of your habits or whatever,
yeah.
Or like maybe a bad habit specifically, it's like, you're kind of like self-destructing a little bit here, and they're like, how dare you? Really, it's like out of love.
It's easy to get defensive about scrutiny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but when you're seen...
Do you really need that third snack cake?
Oh, ooh. Hey, there's a reason they come in packs of 2.
Do you really need that 4th snack cake?
There's a reason they give you more than 1 pack of 2 in the bag, in the box.
Do you really need to eat that entire box of snack cakes in one sitting?
Dude, I can't even imagine how sick that would make me.
I know.
Yeah, that one would come under some scrutiny for me. I see you. I would scrutinize that.
Do you really need an entire loaf of peanut butter jelly sandwiches?
You ate 5 of them.
You've already had 2/3 of the loaf. Do you really need another one?
Being scrutinized is me saying you shouldn't have eaten 5 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but being seen is you saying I had peanut butter and jelly for sandwiches last night, and I ask how many. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the song.
I haven't had a good peanut butter jelly in a while. Maybe I need bread. I might make a stop at the store tomorrow to get some bread. Hey, you know what's a bird that I'm always saying doesn't get enough airtime in songs?
The toucan.
Well, yes, but I guess I meant like American bird.
Oh, an American bird? Pigeons.
No, pigeons get plenty of airtime. I was referring to the hummingbird.
Oh, they get plenty of airtime. They fly.
Yeah, but another animal, scorpions.
What are you talking about?
In the song "We're in Love," one of the lyrics towards the end is about hummingbirds and scorpions, and
got it. Yeah, and the baby scorpion who, yeah.
In the winter lunar halo.
I thought you were just trying to do a transition into anti-curse, and you just said, you know, a bird doesn't get enough airtime, and I was like, weird. And then you said another animal, scorpions, and I was like, what are you talking? I'm like, how on earth is this gonna? And it wasn't gonna connect.
Hey,
wait, look, and the walk we took in the redwoods. Like the studio that didn't exist.
Yeah.
The Mixtaper almost lied about that.
Listen, that might have been where the Mixtaper got the idea.
Oh, sneaky.
You know, in my top 5 things that don't get enough airtime in songs, you know, you got hummingbirds, scorpions, but also bad comedians.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
An honest fool with more bad habits than you can count. These are a few of my favorite things.
Yeah, okay. Well, the next song is Anti-Curse. Surprising how long it takes them to reach the synonym blessing.
Yeah.
They make it all the way to the last line before they get there.
Do you think that's intentional? Or do you think somebody was like, hey, what about blessing? Like, as they were trying to come up with the ending?
Oh, or even a blessing. And they added, like, she's singing the verse and she says, an incantation like an anti-curse. And someone holds up a card outside the window of the recording booth. Oh, or even a blessing.
Blessing, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like the meme of somebody like trying to solve a simple math problem and then he turns around and somebody in the class holds up a sign.
Yeah. No, it's definitely intentional, and I think the difference lies in that an anti-curse would take you back to a neutral state, whereas a blessing would elevate you above it.
Unless you're using a blessing on a curse, and then they cancel each other out.
It depends on how big the blessing is.
I think a blessing can be an anti-curse, but not all anti-curses are blessings.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's true. And so I think there is a distinction.
I think an anti-curse also could be taken preventatively. Like, oh, I'm worried I might
get cursed.
You know, come in contact with some curses, so I better put on some anti-curse before I head out.
Yeah, like sunblock.
Yeah.
Speaking of sunblock, Julien got out of her depth at a public beach. And...
Sorry, what?
Well, that's what the song's about. She got out of her depth at a public beach.
Oh, Julien wrote this one?
Yes. She went out into the ocean and she almost drowned.
Oh, really?
It was a near drowning experience. And she said... I was like, this was not the worst ever way to die. It's not traumatic, lonely.
But don't they say drowning is like the worst way to die? Isn't that like a commonly known thing that like drowning is one of the worst ways to go?
Yeah, and it doesn't sound good. I mean, listen to the way she describes it. Shoots through my mind like a pinball. Friendly fire, point blank, salt in my lungs. Making peace with my inevitable death. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great, but she said, I was just having a great time on the beach with my friends. That's like being smothered to death by puppies. So I think less it's about the medium of dying and more about the context that she almost died in. Like there are worse ways to go than here having a good time in a bright spot of life. But drowning does sound pretty bad. I don't really want to drown. You can tell this one's a Julien song, though, because it does that thing that we talked about for her where it's just a one-way song.
Uh-huh.
There's no chorus, there's no touch point, there's no refrain.
Yep.
We just go, we get on at the start, and we ride the wave all the way down to the end.
Hey, you know, maybe she was just too exhausted to write a chorus.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she did almost drown. That'd take a lot out of you. Finally, the album closes with Letter to an Old Poet. Another bright spot.
Oh, no, you like this one?
Yeah. Oh, I really do. It's such...
Good closer?
A good closer. Yeah, absolutely.
See? You were seen right there.
Yeah.
Not scrutinized.
I was. Seen unscrutinized. It's got just such a gentle kind of energy to it. I like the way that it sounds. I'm hooked from I Kissed You Hard in the Dark in the Closet. Like, the way that sounds, the way they've written that, the chords they put behind it, captivate me every time. I found an article by Lexi McMenamin that talked about the group in this song, and she says that Boygenius did throuples counseling in preparation for the record's release, and when their therapist asked...
No wonder they had to go on indefinite hiatus if they were already having throuples counseling.
But I don't think it was like that. It was just, just an experiment. Which this article said when their therapist asked for a moment that embodied embodied what they wanted to protect in their relationship, they all chose the house lights coming on at Brooklyn Steel at the end of Me and My Dog in 2018.
Wow.
Phoebe ripped her voice open and the ceiling apart with it. Julien says the house lights flipped and the image of the crowd witnessing them is burned into her brain. Phoebe often talks about feeling dissociated on stage, but she couldn't leave herself in that moment. She didn't want to. She needed to be with the boys. So they put audience sounds from that very show straight into this song.
That's cool.
They've kind of built it around the actual recordings of the moment that they all point to as a special moment for the band and for their friendship.
That's awesome.
I know, it's so cool. The title, Letter to an Old Poet, is a reference to a book that Lucy likes called Letters to a Young Poet by Raina Rilke.
Why do I recognize that?
I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
Maybe you've read it.
Maybe.
Phoebe describes the song as being about when someone has so much power over you, they stop being a person. You kind of elevate them up on this pedestal to the point where it's inhuman. And you stop having this empathy for them, right? You think you're a good person because you won't punch me in the stomach, and I love you for that. Like, It doesn't compute.
Imagine that being your baseline for humanity.
Yeah, right. Wild.
Like, you're a good person if you won't punch someone else in the stomach.
Yeah. When you fell down the stairs, it looked like it hurt, and I wasn't sorry. I should have left you right there with your hostages, my heart, and my car keys.
Nuts.
I'm ready to walk into my room without looking for you. Man, it's a song that leaves you dangling.
I'm dangling.
I can't feel it yet, but I'm waiting for the day when I'm like free of this and away from you and I'm stuck and I'm trapped, and it's just powerful. Letter to an Old Poet is a powerful song.
Powerful song to close a powerful album.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you do have it on repeat on a digital medium or something, I really do love the way it loops back into Without You, Without Them.
Yeah, does it loop well?
It does. Not flawlessly, but I think they go well back to back.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I guess that takes us up to Final Spin.
You know what else goes well together, flawlessly back to back?
What's that?
Our Final Spin scores.
That's true. They go back to back. Honestly, I'm excited to finish this episode and edit it and release it, and then listen to all the Boygenius episodes back to back to back to back.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I know. It's a cool thing you can do now. We've got a series. Well, for me, really, what an album. I honestly think they kind of Captain Planet this, right? With their powers combined, they're greater than the sum of their parts in a lot of ways.
I literally have that written in my notes. Not the Captain Planet thing, that together they're greater than any individual member.
I don't know. I still love Punisher so much. I don't know if I'd put them above Phoebe together, but definitely, I will see how the rankings all shake out.
Really? You literally just said that I feel like you literally just said that they Captain Planet it.
Well, they did. They combined their powers and they made a really good record.
Fair enough.
You get it. Musically, giving this an 86. It's hard to judge this one musically because the front half is so loaded and the back half kind of leaves you wanting. Of the songs that I can remember on command from this album, a month or 2 or 3 after I've last listened to it, all of them, minus Satanist and a little bit of Letter to an Old Poet, are in the first half of the album. So that's tough, but 86 overall for music, 84 for lyrics. That's probably a little low, I guess, but that's where it lands for me. 84, 86 for instruments and production. A lot of these songs have just a vibe to them, just a flow that I think is really exciting. It kind of feels like floating on your back in the ocean and just letting yourself kind of drift with the tide of this album in a lot of ways. And I love some of the instrumental stuff that they've done. Not Strong Enough, obviously produced well enough to almost be the record of the year. Emily, I'm Sorry gives me such goosebumps, so many chills. I like the crunch of Satanist. I love the gentle touch of Letter to an Old Poet. It's really impressive. Overall vibe, I'm giving an 85. I really enjoy it.
You were vibing.
The score for the record is an 86.2. That puts it above Wham and below the Shins for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Above Wham, though.
Yeah. I really like Make It Big. And so what I say, that puts it at number 249. Last year's Grammy winner was Midnights by Taylor Swift. It's number 324. So...
Yeah, no, I think I've been pretty clear that almost anything else that was nominated should have won over that.
Yeah, you're right.
The artist won Album of the Year, not the album.
Yeah. And I guess an updated score and a refresher. Historian, for me, is ranked number 536. Little Oblivions is ranked number 221. So you know what? It does go above the record. And it's actually largely in the lyrics score that difference comes. The Pickle Queen can write a good song.
Yeah. So you like them as individual artists better than you like them as a...
I guess I must, even though this record stands out as something I think I enjoy better than some of their individual work.
That's fascinating.
Like, maybe what it is, I think Little Oblivions is a better record overall, but Boygenius makes music I'm more likely to listen to regularly. Whether that's for content or for style points or whatever. But Phoebe Bridgers, I mean, Punisher is number 12 on my list. It's really ranked high. Stranger in the Alps is still in my top 50. So she's a juggernaut to beat on my ranking list. And I think a little bit of that is personal bias and preference, but
Fair enough.
yeah, that's where it stands. That's for me, number 249, a top 250 for the record.
Nice.
What about you?
I think I fall in the opposite camp. I think I like them better as a supergroup.
They are a pretty super group.
They are pretty super and they are pretty group.
That's all it takes.
I am giving my Connor top 3 in album order.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to Without You, Without Them.
Perfect pick for a honorable mention. That feels like what a honorable mention is meant to be.
Exactly. Go a little predictably here. $20.
Yeah.
True Blue.
It's painful.
And Not Strong Enough.
Whoa, okay. Wow. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I think we do fall on opposite sides at the beginning of this album.
Would you have gone, Emily, I'm sorry, cool about it, and
Probably Not
else?
Strong Enough.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
have gone
think.
literally the other?
Yeah.
You would have gone with the other ones I didn't pick.
Yeah, it's likely.
And as for a score,
You gave Phoebe an 8.
8.
You gave Pickle Queen Julien Baker a 7.
I've given 2 8s and a 7.
And you gave Lucy Dacus an 8. 878.
Sure did. Man, I can't believe Phoebe Bridgers was where the filing cabinet lore started too.
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one 8 rare candies out of 10.
8 rare candies. That'll level you up.
Yeah, well. And it has leveled them up because it's going to go right above Historian by Lucy Dacus.
Oh, right above. That's cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So each of them got a little boost from forming up with their counterparts.
It's going above Lucy Dacus, you say?
Sure did.
Marvelous. That's pretty fun.
Some, like Julien Baker, got quite the level up from that rare candy. But even Lucy got a little boost.
What a day. That's exactly what the rare candy is all about.
Playlist picks.
It's a tough question. Can we agree on Not Strong Enough?
Yes, I think we can.
Great. That can be your pick.
I knew you were going to say that.
No. Okay. We do have to make another pick, though.
So here's kind of my proposal.
Okay. Propose away.
What if we went with either With You, Without You, Without Them, or Letter to an Old Poet?
Oh.
Since we kind of are on opposite sides of the fence about tracks 2 through 5, let's just pick something else we can both agree on is kind of a sleeper pick. We seem to both really like Letter to an Old Poet and both appreciated Without You, Without Them.
I could get behind that. You know, I was going to acquiesce and kind of go more towards True Blue, but I also
could be okay with that, but I like the idea of picking like a sleeper pick.
Yeah, and I almost like Letter to an Old Poet better than True Blue. It's just a beautiful song in a way that True Blue isn't.
I'm okay with Letter to an Old Poet. You want to do Not Strong Enough and Letter to an Old Poet?
I think that's a great pair.
Let's do it.
Well, that is going to put a cap on this massive podcast arc.
We've caught them all.
We caught them all. We're Pokemon trainers. Boygenius trainers.
We're Boygenius trainers. I hate that.
Think about this. Phoebe Bridgers was the first episode of the Year of Healing.
Was it really?
Yeah, so we passed the entire Year of Healing and into the Year of Discovery.
Yeah, like half the Year of Discovery.
Uh-huh. That's how long this has gone on.
Wow. We finally did it, though. We've become Boygenius masters.
At least of this generation. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so happy to have it done. It's cool. Next week, by the way, is a special episode. It's Grammy week.
Wow.
I'm always afraid to assert things like that now. I messed it up one time and I'll never, ever forget it. Next week should be Grammy week. Stay tuned. We will do an episode about the Album of the Year winner. If you're listening to this episode on Friday, the Grammys happen on Sunday. We don't know who's going to be a part of the next episode yet. We'll find out, and we'll scramble to record the episode, and it'll be out, and you'll love it. It'll be so fun. I love our Grammy specials.
Mm-hmm.
For more information about that, you know where to find us, at Spin It Pod Official on Instagram and at Spin It Pod on X. And, of course, there is always our website, www.spinitpod.com. That is the website to match.
Hey, it's me, the Mixtaper, back with an important announcement. I did it! My pumpkin spice latte formula worked. given new life to my psychic, the Gopher.
Well, that's exciting. So you're saying...
Yeah, there was some unintended side effects.
What?
Yeah, he's a slightly different shade of brown.
Oh.
And he seems to have forgotten who I am. Maybe some short-term memory loss, temporary, hopefully.
Maybe you like reset his life to like he's like a year one Gopher again.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe he'll have to drink one of these every couple of years. We'll see if we can fix the memory problems.
Well, I'm glad he gets to live to see another Gopher day. How exciting.
Gonna have to teach him all of his old tricks again.
Oh, like a Pokemon trainer.
I'll have to train him. Yes.
You'll be the very best like no one ever was.
Yes, I'll be the master taper.
Right. Well, love it.
All right, well, I'm out of here. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Wow, how exciting for him.
Yes, very.
We'll see you next week. And until then, you know what to do.
Keep spinning.
Got any fun Gopher Day plans?
No.